template. So what is a widening and overlay template component? So it's a new template component, and it's auto draping. It's called overlay. When you go into build your templates, you'll see that here in a minute. It has some auto draping at the edge of the components in the profile. So it will pick up, existing pavement cross slopes and also drape the profile onto the terrain that you have in there. So how does it work? So if you have an overlay component, so the yellow ones that are here are the overlay components. You can see here that the drape point, of course, in this case would be at the crown, and then it would also drape at the end of each overlay component. And then the next component, which would be your new lane for a widening or whatever, it matches slope of the previous overlay component. And then you can build out from that on the edges of your template. So that's basically how it works. So let's get into a little example here. So so here's just a road, and what we're going to do is we'll make a template first. I've already got one built, and this one actually has widening 4-lane, and I've got a thickness applied to the overlay component. We'll build a template here in a minute. When you do provide a thickness, it will compute the milling and compute the overlay that's going back into it. So we're going to do one with no overlay for the existing road. So you basically go in, pick your overlay component, we'll put that in, we'll mirror it on both sides, and then we'll put a regular lane. So we're going to widen it to a 4-lane undivided, put a shoulder component, and we'll put our in conditions. So nothing really changed about how you build the template or anything like that. But now I'm going to go into my overlay component, and it shows up under pavings. And if you set the height to 0, it will not put that into the model. And you'll see here in just a second, you see that there's a gap in there. And let's do the striping. So also too, when the striping, if you'll notice, I pick a 2-lane double here and go look at the striping. You don't see the center striping, but you do see that edges of the widening component and the exterior of the new lane. So we're going to put it in here, and when I start laying this road out here, I'll pick my no widening one, and we'll start laying out this the road here. So I'm going to go in and put in some PIs here and put that in, adjust it. Now once you see after I've put it in and everything, what I'll do is I'll start adjusting it, and you will see that the profile on this, when I pick it, you can see that it's going to be draped onto the terrain. You can see here, as I move it around, it continues to drape itself onto the terrain, as you can see there in this instance right here. So I'm changing radiuses to line it up with the road and everything like that, and do some final adjustment. So you can go in and adjust it. You can see I'm off the road a little bit, so I'll move my PI down a little bit, and then final change the radius of that. So you can see here that I've got it done. I can see I need to adjust this curve a little bit, so I'm going to go back in after I move the PI, and we'll just go pick and adjust the radius so it lines up with the road. All right, so we've got the center line draped on that thing. So you remember that the overlay components drape themselves. As you can see in the cross section here, that the overlay components are draping based upon what the terrain's doing, and you can see the lanes are picking up the cross slope of those. So in this case right here, that you can take an existing road if you don't want to need to calculate super or anything like that. It will pick up the super going around curves. So I'll show you on this last one here. We'll go to the end and then back up to that curve, and you can see that it's showing the super elevation on that curve and the new pavements at that cross slope. So that's how you do use the new overlay component.